Content, personal branding. I've tried to make this so it fits in with everyone here because I know some people are in personal brands for different reasons. And I'm going to go through kind of dialing in what type of personal brand you want, curating that. A lot of the actual tips and tricks to growing a brand, but one of the important ones is dialing in why you want it and what you want to show to the world. But in my opinion, personal branding is not an option now. It's absolutely essential to reach the top levels of success. That's why so many guys that already have money focus on personal branding, because they understand a lot of the real high caliber life setup comes from status. It doesn't come from money. It comes from status, being someone that people respect. And that's actually a key driver for a lot of people in wanting to have a personal brand, is the fact that you want to feel respected. You want to feel like a high status individual. And you've got to understand that. And reputation in business is everything. And this is your chance to show to the world exactly who you are, curated the way you want to curate it. They don't see the raw, they don't see the bad things you've done. You show them what you want to show them. And that's very important to get right. And I think the reason rich people do this, mega rich people, 100 mil, they get into personal brands for opportunities, networking, status, that kind of stuff. It's not an option. Everybody should have a personal brand. Look at someone like Alex Hormozi, didn't need a personal brand at all to do business. Was doing very, very well. Built a personal brand, because a lot of people think, well, what will I make content about? Maybe you frame it in a way where you're like, well, Jack, I'm not like you, I don't want to do self-development. No matter what business you're in, you can make content about the person you are, the things you've learned on your journey, and it will relate to people. You have the ability to reach, at the click of a finger, millions of people and have them see the best version of you. Handpick exactly what you want them to see and how you want to be perceived by the world. This should be aligned with the man you want to become. The ideal version of yourself should be the man that's presented on the internet. Make your socials so that they are presenting that. Because a lot of people, well, we've kind of grew up with social media as just like a platform for connecting with people and showing a bit about our lives. This is a business strategy. This is not just a fun fucking thing. If you want a fun thing, have a private account with a couple of your friends, goof out, have some fun. The personal brand you show to the world for any serious entrepreneur is your ticket. It's your fucking business card now. And you can guarantee anyone that does business with you is going to be checking that. And the less you have online, the less they're able to see about you, the less you'll be trusted in future years. Because they'll be like, why are you not online? People will only trust people with a presence. Personal branding is a 10-year process. Doesn't mean that we can't make fuck tons of money with it now. Doesn't mean we can't start straight away. But we're just getting in this for the long game. I think if any of us do a personal brand the right way for the next 10 years, you never have to do a fucking personal brand again if you don't want to. But by that time, you'll probably enjoy it and what it brings into your life. So personal branding is a 10-year process. It happens over time and who you become, and that journey is what people buy into. And I'll just show you my beginning. Hopefully, if this loads up, we can get a bit of my beginning, which some of you might have seen, but some of you might not. Yeah, let's have a look here. This was my beginning of personal branding. For anyone that thinks they can't fucking get into it, this is the point that I started at. There it is.
Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Turns out some of you want some help with your credit score. I'll give you basically one tip. I'll try and give you a tip a day. First tip for today is something called the electoral roll. Most of you know what that is. You'll be on the electoral roll. If you don't, look it up.
I was not good at this.
Electoral roll, and if you're not, get yourself signed onto the electoral roll.
I was not the person that I wanted to be yet. But I had a vision for who I wanted to become. And I put in the daily action. So yeah, any of you can get good at this. But it is a matter of letting go of perfection and knowing it's not going to be good at the start. We just have to start. Because all that stuff, I keep that on there actually because I find it good to look at. I think that journey's cool. I don't think any of you look at that now and think, oh, Jack used to be a loser, I don't like him now. I would imagine you look at it and think, look at how far Jack's come, which is what everyone will think about what you do personally. When you build your personal brand, they love to see that journey. And people have seen it with me. That's how you build your kind of respect with your audience, is through showing that and taking them on that journey with you. So this is a concept about how to start making content because it comes from more of a lifestyle aspect to making content. You have to make content easy to make. You have to want to make it. You have to, first one, get handsome. When you look better, we're all a little bit vain. When we look our best, we want a picture taken of us. We want to put it online. When you create your reality to look the best you can look every single day, when you look in the best shape possible, when you've got a tan, when you're wearing the best clothes, when you're investing in who you are as a person, that's when you want to make your content, and that's when you should make your content, because you should be showing that version of you, who you want to be, to the world. And that's recently with my YouTube, you've probably seen, like, I've set up the camera nicer in my apartment, showing where I live, dressing better, putting my new fucking drip on every time. Makes me feel better about making content. Same reason I moved to Thailand. You see me in that fucking pasty, wearing my glasses, little apartment in Bournemouth, unconfident. I changed that because I actually changed. I changed my location. That's why it's so important where you live. Your life setup is so important, because when you live in the life, we all know when we're on vacation, it's easy to get the fucking phone out and start taking stories and stuff, because we want to show people that world, what we're doing. So the life has to really be structured like that. Next one, have a fucking opinion. The middle of the road personal brands, they go nowhere. They make no money. The money's in the love and the hate. You have to ruffle a few feathers, and I'll talk about how you deal with that backlash, how you deal with people having negative things to say about you, because we can all deal with that. But without somebody hating you, you can't have someone that loves you, is what I've found. You have to have your opinions. Figure out what your opinions are, because you don't want to be someone like, if you try and copy tape, for example, maybe that doesn't align with who you are as a person. Maybe you don't think that's right, but you try and copy it to ruffle some feathers, and you're actually saying stuff that's not authentic to you. Be authentic to you, but just figure out what are your values and what do you genuinely believe, and then you can stand behind it fully. It's one of the most attractive qualities in a man, and one of the most attractive qualities that buys people into personal brand. It's why, and we were talking about this earlier, it's why I still watch McGregor. Even though McGregor gets a fuck ton of backlash, I love the fact that McGregor may be insane, but he shows that to the world, and he fully embraces it. And in my mind, and for any successful man, someone thinking straight, not the fucking normies, we respect that in a person. And that's super important. So have an opinion about, and voice your opinions to your audience, because then you get the people that love you, want to go in with you and do business with you, and you get the people that don't like you. But one of the first things you have to do when you make content is overcome the fear of judgment. So just before I made those first ever videos where I'm in my apartment, I had a call with a guy called Colin Yerkeson, which a few of you guys probably know about. He was doing a personal branding course at the time, and I was super scared because I was living in a world that was very much based on the opinions of others, and I was tied into circles that didn't align with the new me. When you start, you're normally starting from a place that you're trying to become someone new, but everybody else has a preconceived idea about you. So anything you start to change feels inauthentic to them. It's why I moved to Thailand. I could be freer in my personality. But you overcome that fear of judgment. One of the first things I asked to Colin was, do I make a new Instagram account for this personal brand so the people I knew before can't see this? You get over that, and I'll run you through how you do that. But you have to keep it on your current accounts, and you have to let go of the judgment of others. We're in a nice position of that we have the support of brothers around us, and we know each other's version right now. I only know what you guys want to be right now. I have no preconceived ideas about you from past lives, so I can fully support you in who you want to become. And that's what I expect you'll all do with each other, is we're each other's biggest fans. We support and push everybody's stuff, give that encouragement to each other. And that's all we need, because we know we've got a brotherhood. We know we're aligned on pretty much the same mission, and we look out for each other, and it helps us to not care what other people think, because we know why we're doing it. We know the big plan, and we know what 99% of people are doing isn't fucking working for them, which is why they're so fucking unhappy, which is why they need to try and tear somebody down. And just, there's a couple other videos, pretty funny. Every single person, as you saw me I started off looking stupid. This is fucking Post Malone's first song.
Hey girl, love me.
This guy's one of the biggest fucking rock stars in the world. More pussy than he knows what to do with. Multi fucking millionaire. This is how he had to start. Do we hate him now because we've seen this part of him? No, it makes him endearing. We like him more now because we think, fuck, where did you come from? What's going on in your fucking head? I got another one of Drake. It's not as fucking funny as this though. This is top tier. This is top. That one's top tier. But even Drake, you see, who's about as big as you can get. next to Post Malone. He's probably bigger than Post Malone. But he didn't start. They all start humble beginnings.
I'm from the city where people be getting threatened for showing they facing precincts. Ladies leasing, arranging, and renting basements of regions. Some people making that change and spent in places that's decent. It cost from summers before they replace them with something recent. Memphis and rubber bands.
Not dressed cool, not fucking the guy that we know now, not the songs that we know and love now, but he started somewhere and he was putting it out. He was putting it out and he was giving himself to the world and he improved his craft, he improved who he became, and he leveled up into the person he wanted to become. So nobody ever starts at where you see people now. You're seeing people at level fucking 100, but you never saw their day one. So don't use that in your own life and understand that your day one is not going to look the same, and just enjoy the process of getting better. How I deal with negative feedback now. I understand that anybody that gives you a negative bit of feedback or a negative comment, that comes from a place of hurt. Hurt people. That's what they say. And I try and feel sorry for them, that they're in a place of pain in their life where they have to try and tear someone down. Fucking criticism never comes from above. They don't have time for it. The guys that you really admire never have time for it, to criticize. I put out a video of the private jet yesterday. You got Colin Yerkeson, a guy who's highly successful, multi-millionaire in his own brand, helped me on my journey, just wishing me the best in the world, super fucking proud of me. Someone that I value his opinion. Sartorial Shooter messages me on my content, saying I'm living the custom-made reality, cheering me on. The guys that you actually care about want the best for you. The guys that's opinions matter. And then you see all the other fucking comments. Why are you just renting a jet for Instagram? You're just filling our heads with rubbish. And shit like that. Because they're jealous of where you're at. And that's all it is. When you look at the comments, they're just jealous that you can unlock that part of yourself because they're not as enlightened, they're not as free as us as individuals. And that's where it's seen as. So I end up seeing the bad comments, I just try and feel sorry for them and wish them all the best. If you're ever going to respond to negative comments, I highly recommend ignoring it and only replying to the positivity and embracing those fans, which I'll talk about creating that community using some tips like that. But when it comes to the negative stuff, I would say don't reply. If you do reply how Gary Vee replies, which is with compassion for another person. I don't know how hurt you are that you have to say something like that, but I wish you all the best. And that just shows you as the strong man. You're not going to let somebody else phase you. You don't need to argue your point. You don't need to prove why they're wrong. You just wish them all the best. And that takes someone who's hurt and goes, that can take a hater into a fan because they've never been shown that by anyone. They're used to being a troll. But you're not playing their game, you're not swinging with them. You just step out the way. That comes through, you just step out the way. It takes all the energy out of them. And they're like, fuck, this guy might actually care about me. No one's ever cared about me. I actually like this guy, I'm secretly jealous of him. And now he's shown me some compassion. I'm actually his biggest fan.
Tell about the guy who messaged you fighting, and then
I had a guy calling me out after my fight. Loads of ridiculous shit. It was fucking finding out where I was at hotels, like figuring out the hotel I was at through Instagram, like when I was posting stories, saying he was going to meet me outside my room, beat the fuck out of me and shit, and like how I was such a pussy, how I should be a real man. I could never get in the ring with someone who's a real man, why I'm dodging him for fights. So I fucking video called him. I said, yeah, this is my room number, this is where I'm at right now. Just come through, let's fucking hash it out man to man. It just started backtracking, started asking me about myself. Started asking him about him. What are you doing right now, man? Sort of where you're at in your life. He's making no fucking money. Doesn't know what he wants to do with his life. Just a hurt person. Trying to get a rise out. Then he's fucking... So we get off this call together. I'm on the phone to this guy for like an hour. I didn't like him, personally. I can't take somebody's disrespect like that and then like them, but I knew the best way to deal with the situation. But he ended up really fucking liking me. And then he fucking showed me a video of his girlfriend being like, yeah, Jack, you're fucking... really cool, we actually love you and stuff, like with his fucking girlfriend they're talking about me. And then he messages me like, yeah, we need to go into some fucking business together, I want to work with you, man, like all this stuff. These people are just fucking snowflakes. They're snowflakes, but never run from that shit. Never run from anyone calling you out on that, because no one will ever call you out to your face. No one will ever do that. It's all online shit, and people are just not comfortable with like being confronted in person. So that's just that one story which I found quite interesting of how I deal with that kind of stuff. You can make mistakes and look foolish. It's, as we know now from seeing this stuff, it's endearing to make mistakes. It makes you like somebody. that they're not perfect. One day, again, we'll all be dead, so really doesn't matter that fucking much. So we're all checking out of here at some time. So just, if you think it will make you happy and make your life better, just do it and fuck everyone else. People only normally care about themselves anyway. Even if you get backlash, it's a comment that people will try and tear down your life. It's a comment they made in 2 seconds. They've totally forgotten about it. They don't even think about you. So don't think about them. Focus on your stuff. Does this mean you should deliberately be an idiot? No, we have to live in alignment with our values and being the best version of ourselves, and that's where our content comes from a place of. So we're not going out there and trying to harm the world. Obviously, it's going to get backlash that might actually affect you because it's maybe something you didn't like that you did. So don't try and be an idiot. Live with your values, but also be willing to make mistakes as long as you're in line with your creed, the New Elite creed, and your values as a man. Creating your strategy. What's the reason for your personal brand? So here's a few that I've put out. First one's high-level connections. Some guys in here, you've got money. Maybe the only reason you want a personal brand is to connect with more high-level people, get better opportunities. Now, the interesting thing about this is you can't really do this just using pictures without showing a personality, because what makes somebody actually want to get together with you and connect with you is your personality and the things you've achieved. So David Goggins, for example, is a high-value man that can get in a room with billionaires because they've seen him through his personal brand. They know about him. They see his achievements. Whereas if he just posted pictures of him running every day, nobody would ever see that, understand his story. So no matter whether it's just for high-level connections, you don't care about making money with it, you don't care about building an info product with it, we have to still see your personality, because then people can make real connections with you. That's why I can make connections with people at a high level, guys that I couldn't get in rooms with. It's not because my Instagram looks cool. You see a lot of cool Instagrams with bought followings. It's because there's a realness, an authenticity. People get to know me, and they get to know if they fuck with you. And that's when you get the DMs coming in. I get a fuck ton of DMs from high-value guys and other celebrities that like and fuck with your stuff. And that's because you can offer them something that maybe you don't realize. Anyone at any level is still a person the same as you. Same problems, same trials and tribulations, just slightly further along the journey. So they can relate to you in a far better way, which I thought was an interesting concept, because a lot of people think high-value IG, I just need to post cool pictures and look cool. But it's actually more than that. Online info product. Building a loyal fan base through your mission and your creed, knowing exactly who you are as a man, knowing your system, giving that to the world, and giving huge value. People connect with you, probably everyone in here connected with me is in this mastermind right now because in some way, shape or form, the things that I've said, the way that I live my life has given you a form of value. You started watching me because you thought it could improve your own life. And that's how the real relationships are born. And that's how a business is born, is you give all the good stuff for free. You start talking about this stuff for free and people pay to be closer to you because you've already given them so much in their life. You give first, you ask second. Status. If you just want to look good for a status perspective, you can show the luxury lifestyle, connect with other high status individuals in regards to masterminds and meeting celebrities and having pictures with them, or just become a high status individual through your reach, through your message, through your person as a man. That's going to be a much better high status. That's going to give you the real benefits of being high status, is actually becoming it, being a well-known person, for being an expert in your craft and helping other people. So you can present that luxury image. That'll get you a little bit of the way there. Maybe you get some more DMs. Maybe you've got some social proof when it comes on to women of being in high-value circles, being around other women, pre-selection. It's good for your DMs, but that's about it. It's quite surface level. More times than not, you're going to be poached for this stuff than actually make decent connections with other high-value guys. You're just going to have a lot of inbound people trying to sell you something. They know you have money, and you're making yourself more of a target without really getting the key benefits of being high status, which is having people actually know and love you and like you. Where to start with the personal branding? This is exactly my step-by-step how I started. Because if you're looking at it right now and you're trying to be me straight off the bat and you've never done content before, this wasn't how I started everything out. It took me a while to get into YouTube. I started with the daily stories, which is practicing the craft, same as anything else. It's not a natural thing. Even you might think of me as a naturally energetic or lively person, good on camera. It's just hundreds and hundreds of reps. It's 410 YouTube videos made. It's thousands and thousands of stories of speaking on camera that allows me to now do this. I didn't start off like this. Start with the daily stories. These are non-negotiable. It's such an easy way. They get erased after 24 hours. The good ones you save in the carousel underneath. But they allow you to make content without worrying about the result. They allow you to not really give a fuck. They allow you to find your style. And this is what I would do. The story strategy, you just basically give yourself a structure every day. And this should align with, have a look. What kind of personal brand do I want? Why am I doing this? What's my mission? Who am I as a person? What do I believe in? How can I breathe that into my audience every day through my daily stories? How can I show them who I am? How can I get them to agree or disagree with me through my daily stories? So training vids daily, it's great to just show that you turn up. That discipline, when you turn up every day, you show you're consistent, builds huge respect in the market when people see that. Because most people can't do it. 90% of guys can't turn up to the gym when they want to. So they see that from you, and now they've raised you above themselves. They're like, I know he turns up every day. They see that you do that. So I think training's super important, and it keeps you accountable. I like self-development reading. I like reading books, and I think sharing that, what you're interested in, gives value to other people by leveraging someone else's product. I've come onto great books from various other people, and I kind of always remember who I got the book from, or who put me onto that idea, and I relate the book to them. And you can use that. You can use fantastic books and things that you're into, give quotes that you relate to, that improve someone's life. It's not even your content, but they tie it to you. One or more talking video giving value. I would highly recommend this, and I actually haven't been doing this enough, so this is stuff for me to work on as well. But get back to talking on stories, because that's where they see your personality. And giving them some value every day on stories, or just putting an insight up. You've been very good at doing this recently, Dario. Putting on your stories, like just giving some value, like getting your brain out. I need to do that more. Daily, yeah. Just hop on there and chat to them every day. Have a little joke with them, tell them a story. Maybe you just read a page in a book. You give them a little more insight about how you think about that thing.
Is this for both Instagram and YouTube?
This is just for Instagram right now, and then we'll move on to YouTube. This is just in the stories. Just so you have a structure to follow, so you're not thinking like, oh, what do I post? If you follow this, hopefully you can think, okay, these are the things I need to do every day. Q&As, great way to connect with your audience, because when you reply to someone's message, they feel connected with you. And it also gives you content ideas. If you're not getting any good questions through on your stories, I get probably 1,000 questions now per stories, but there was a time when I got no questions. No one gave a fuck. So I just asked myself good questions. I still ask myself good questions to this day, because most people don't know how to ask a fucking question. And most people are perpetually stuck. The people that ask Q&A questions are normally stuck in the same cycle. So a lot of the questions are very similar. Find a very good question that you've got a brilliant answer to, ask it to yourself, and answer that question to give value to your audience. Twice a week, I'd say minimum for Q&As. That's a nice place to be. When you're rolling around, I found a lot of benefits, especially through sales, like selling through my stories, to being in high-end luxury places, like being on a luxury vacation, because it's like a subconscious thing. People see you doing it, and they're like, okay, he sells X. That must be my way of doing that too. That's why lifestyle content works so well. So you show all of that, and then you tie it into your teachings, why you got that way. And just show everything luxury that you're doing. People love that stuff, because most people are stuck at home in dreary old England or someplace in the USA they don't want to be, and they live through you, and they like doing that. Show your life every day. Promo your products or talk about them every day. This is something I've not been doing. I kind of got a little bit shy about it, like I'll let my work do the talking, and I'll create great products, and I'll make amazing free value videos so I don't have to talk that much and be a hard seller. I actually totally disagree with this, because one of the best in the space is Wes Watson. He's making like 3 million a month profit through his Instagram and closing, talks about his products every single day, all day long, and he gives it in like a value-based stuff. So follow Wes, check out his stories every day. And he also does a huge amount of testimonials. And I find myself watching them. I do actually find interest in them, which shows me to myself, I need to talk about New Elite, my products, 10K Accelerator, every single day, and how they're changing lives. Don't expect people to just know this. You have to be the biggest fan of your own product. You have to make people sick to death with it, because how stories works is you're hitting multiple touch points. You hit them for 30 days, and every day they're getting reprogrammed. Seeing you live in a luxury life, seeing you turned up in discipline, seeing you talk about your products. This person's testimonial changed their life. This person's testimonial One day, they're going to watch that story, they're feeling a certain amount of pain, and they're going to click the button. But if you're not talking to them every day in that way, you miss out on all those customers because they're slowly becoming more and more convinced, and you're slowly building up proof and value on a daily basis. Instagram Reels. Fantastic way to grow. And I'll dissect my best performing reel for you now to give you some of the things I've discovered in starting doing the daily reels since the 1st of Jan. Some of the things I've discovered based on different content styles. Nearly 4 million views, about 10,000 new followers, mostly men in my niche, came from this video, which is about 7 or 9 seconds long. And I'll actually break this down to you why I think this video did well. Because reels are all subconscious, that you don't think about them in the same way you think about long-form content. It's not a logical side of the brain. It's a dopaminergic, it's an emotional response, which means our imaging and the micro stories that a reel tells are very important. And this leaves a lot of unanswered questions. It leaves a lot of intrigue. When it plays from the start, I'll point something out to you. Female there, first hook. Who's that chick? I've seen some titties. Get them hooked. So now they're on to their second watch already. They're watching it again because they want to see. And then you've got girl in the back, girl in the back. She's interested. What the fuck's going on there? What's that that's just happened there? Watching it a third time. Who the fuck's this guy? Ripped to shreds. What's this music? What does this mean? That's why it captivates the audience. That's why I believe it did well. It's a micro story. It gives you something to figure out, but on the surface, you just think it was a clip, but it tells a story. So you have to look for a way to make super short form content, tell a very small story, but not in a way that is directly telling someone a story, like you're talking, which can work, but you find ways to make your content interesting. And girls are a super hack. We've seen that with my profile. Girls are a super hack, especially when paired and in front of men, because what's one of the key drivers for every man? Any man that's running a man-based business, the key driver is they want better pussy. For most people, that's literally what we want: more money, we want a better life. Why? So we can get better pussy in the future. It's not everything, but it's a big, big part of people's lives. So when you show yourself just being surrounded by beautiful women in the shape they want to be in, it just gives you that huge reach. And then you have a micro story. And another thing I really like to focus on is music. Don't use the common reel sounds, or try and be the fucking guy that does the trending reels. Be your own, create your own music library through your reels, because that's fucking interesting. That gives a whole nother dynamic, and music's super powerful. The reason we like music so much as humans is because it changes our state. So you don't even have to be any better or any different to how you are now. You're using the power of music. It's like the Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial. They use Michael Jackson because of how he makes people emotionally feel, because of how he changes people's state, and then they use him in a Pepsi advert. And that's why a lot of people use music, and films use music, because it changes our emotions. Use music that's connected to you. Create your own music library through your reels. So people are watching it. Maybe some days they're just turning up because they like the way your music makes them feel. They want to see a new song. That's a huge aspect that I don't think many people touch upon. And when I go for reels, I go short. I think we often try to do too much. If you're going over 30 seconds, way too long. Ideal space is between 0 and 15 seconds for reels right now. I love stationary shots like this that have action in the shot, but the camera's not moving. Kind of far off, subject in the background, observing. It's like a window. They're going through and they're seeing different things through a window. And when there's movement there, it kind of fucks that up a little bit. But then they're going through, they're seeing the window. Oh, what's in this window? And they're having a look and they're intrigued. Then you do there's another thing that you can do with the captions, which I'll give you an example on. I don't have a well-performing reel. 80K views, not too bad. But this one, just a video, just a normal video. It's not even fucking tailored to the Instagram screen, but it's a nice scenario. There's again a story. Where am I fucking Batman? What city am I in? What am I looking out over? There's a bit of a story there, and then there's the physique to back it up. There's the music, which gives you emotional response, which ties you into the caption. When you show up every day, when you commit to doing it all right, when you never break a promise to yourself, the money takes care of itself. Just a simple thing that people see it, they felt a certain way about you, they've tied a feeling to you, they see your discipline, they've got a little story in their mind, and then they're like, oh, this guy actually says some stuff I relate with. That's a bit of value for me. I got the dopamine from the clip, I'm getting value from how he's made me feel. I want to be a little bit more like that guy. That's how you're helping them directly without fucking getting, this is how you get a bigger chest in 3 easy steps. You're showing them. You're making it an art form. You're not just talking to them like every coach that normally fails in the business. Here's another one. Did very well. Got quite a few followers from this, even though it was less views than the top one. Guys want to live this lifestyle. Just a simple one we put together. Dario filmed me, had it on my camera from a while ago. Go back through all your old archive. There's probably a lot of content you've never used. If you force yourself to do daily reels, you're forced to explore your previous content and find ways to use it. I've grown massively without shooting any new content. All this content was shot before I decided to go daily on reels. I haven't had to shoot, apart from the private jet one yesterday, I haven't had to shoot a single piece of new content. So you've probably already got the content. You just need this system to put it together. And when you now realize that one video of you in the gym or at a cool place, just sitting down having a coffee for 8 seconds can be paired with a bit of music, a decent quote, and get you 100,000 views. Now you know how to use it properly. It was more simple than you thought. That's what I've found in this month. I started off like, oh, I need to cut it together in a certain way. It needs to show a lot. And then I just realized the easier I made it, the better it performed. So that's kind of my own, how I've figured this stuff out personally. The algorithm works on consistency of posting. I spoke to a guy at Instagram about the algorithm. You get an option to have a call with them when you do a certain amount of views with Instagram. I did a call with a guy. He said the most important thing is you use the Instagram editor. Don't edit in CapCut. Don't edit in other editors. Don't have the watermarks from TikTok. Create everything in the Instagram editor. Don't put highly edited videos out. Instagram's pushing natural content. And then it comes into how consistent you are. If you're just going to do 2 reels a week, just do 2 reels a week, but do them every week. If you're going to do 1 a day, do it every single day, and then you get pushed harder in the algorithm. And it goes off how much watch time and how much interaction. There's something that drives comments, going to boost you in the algorithm. Something that drives likes is going to boost you in the algorithm, and shareability. And the amount of times people replay things, which we nail with our stories. That's how we get that, without trying to get that.
With the consistency, is it the same time every day? Is it that granular, or would it just be like...
I haven't been doing the same time every day, and mine's been going fine, so I don't think it's that granular. You do every day, because the reason why is because sometimes you never know what's going to pop, and maybe something low quality pops. And if it doesn't, you can archive it. If you've got a load of stuff that you look at from the start of your personal brand, if I unarchived a lot of my old stuff, it's not stuff I'd want on my profile now, but it gave me a little bit of boost there. It helped me find my way on the journey, and I grew a little bit from it. And then I archive it all, and I keep the stuff I want to keep.
So you'd still put something out even if you weren't really, really happy?
I'm not 100% happy with these every single day, and they surprise me. Yesterday I was fucking with Bill's room in the evening, fretting over what fucking song to put on and how to cut something together. I wasn't happy with it, but I got it out. That's just what you got to do. And sometimes you find you put something out, you're not happy with it, and everyone else loves it. Like this video, I was just stuck for content. I was like, oh, what have I got with the girls that I haven't posted yet? There's a 7-second quick, it's only 7 seconds. Sure, that won't do well. Sure enough, fucking pops off. It's got 2,200 shares, story shares, which is pretty much its thing. Why does it have that? Because people, they like the lifestyle. They want to show that. They find it interesting in some way. I'm actually not sure on that analytic. I'm not sure on the analytic of that, but that would be a mixture, I think, of story shares and personal shares, sending it to a buddy. Sending it to a buddy, like think about how many reels you share with your buddies. They send it to a buddy, he sends it to a buddy, he sends it to a buddy. That's a good way of growth as well. One of them puts it on his story, and that's when they kind of take off. That must have been how the wildfire on this one happened, because it went from like 100K views to 4 million in fucking 8 hours or something. Like it wasn't a long time at all. It just catches on. That's what you're looking for. And you're basically, because you know you're in this daily and you know you're in it for the next 10 years, it's inevitable that you find that. And you're aligned with your purpose, so the people you bring on are now actually with you for your brand.